currently just me on my own. Andy's running about 15 to 20 minutes late, and Lance is about 5 minutes late because he's been playing with his gooseberries apparently. Hi Fresh Meat, hi Andrew, hi Rage, hi David. Nice to see you all. So tonight we're going to be doing an episode on your first MilSim, what to sort of expect from the event. Obviously, we'll kick that off once the other guys join us. Hi, Padre. Hi, Kate. Hi, Danny. I know everyone's late, Tony. Everyone's late. What I wanted to do, this is very weird because it's now just me talking to you guys. What I wanted to do is share a little bit of news on a product I saw, which I thought was quite interesting. This is the VFC MK48 Mod 1 Premium Deluxe version. This is an M249 build. It's a lightweight design. It actually comes in about 4 kilograms. Oh, I'll tell you what, I apologise. I've got a stupid voice changer on. I was playing around
before. There we go. Oh, that's embarrassing. Thanks, guys, for pointing that out. Apologies. Yeah, this is the VFC MK48 Mod 1 Premium Deluxe version. It's about 4 kg in weight. It's £1,200. So take from that what you will. It is full metal apparently. I'm just going to ignore the voice. I'm really sorry. I was playing around because there was no one else to talk to before we started the stream. So, but it's just got an 8,800 round drum mag on it. So if you look, it's sort of got an extended box mag on there. And I'd be interested to hear what people's thoughts are. It looks like an interesting riff. But yeah, that was a little bit of news I found. I don't know if it's better than the TM, to be fair. I haven't had a chance to play around with one. Whether it's £1,200 worth of rifle, I would question that if it's full metal and weighs 4 kilos, the S&T Sportline M249, which is pretty much full plastic, only weighs 3 kilos. So they've only apparently gained an extra kilo somewhere in there. Yeah, Andy, I'm waiting for you, mate. Hurry up. Yeah, and Lance is on his way as well. So yeah, that was a bit of news this week. What I will do, I apologise. I meant to get the raffle information out on the socials and the like. Basically, we are running 2 competitions for our 100th episode. So the first will be the Design Your Own Plate Carrier. There is, thanks to Harry Badger, a mock-up of the Warrior DCS. I think he's taken apart the plate carrier and kind of built a template document that you can download, print off, and use to sort of create your own plate carrier template. But there'll be a prize for that on our 100th episode. So send your photos in of you wearing it and sort of give us a bit of information about it. That'd be cool. The other one, yeah, I know. Sorry, guys. People on YouTube are still catching up from the beginning of the episode, and I had a girl voice on. I apologise. I was playing around. Don't question what I do before the stream. The other competition that we'll be doing will be a raffle. So the raffle will comprise of basically using Just Giving. We're going to be raising money for the Royal British Legion. It'll be a case of buying some donating some money to a Just Giving page, which will then, when you donate money, you can basically enter your name. So everyone that enters their name will then be automatically given a ticket based on the amount that they donated. So it'll be up to, I think it was 5 tickets for a tenner or something like that. I've got to double check. Don't quote me on the amounts. And it's obviously it's only going to be available for people in the UK, mostly just because we can't afford the postage on sending stuff abroad. So if you're in the UK and you want to enter, it'll be a case of donating some money to the Royal British Legion. We'll be basically taking your names, entering on the back of raffle tickets, putting them in a big old bucket, probably an Airsoft helmet or something like that, and drawing those out on the 100th episode. Right, I'm just going to jump into the chat very quickly because you guys are all talking to me, which is a lot. It's nicer than just me chatting to you. So John says, where everyone, mate? They're just running a bit late. Ray says, have you seen that Amazon had a sale on some Thermarest sleep mats? I had not. That's very interesting. I do have my eyes on the Thermarest. It's the grey one. I can't remember the name of it. Like the Neo X Therm, I believe. It's got quite a good R rating, which is the amount of thermal resistance the amount of insulation basically you gain off the ground. Ed says, what were you playing around with? I was just playing around with different voice changes. I have the options to do all sorts of weird, wonderful things. And I did it when I was bored once, and it was just a bit of fun. Oh, nice. Ray said a couple of them had 50 quid off. That's quite good. That's quite good. Might have a look at that. Hi, Damien. Thanks for joining us. What number episode is this? This is episode 83. Which is, we are a long old way through, from when we started. It was quite a while ago. Well, not 83 weeks directly, but it was about a year and a half ago now. Bear in mind, I think we started October 2020. So, thanks for everyone for joining us continuously from that time. It's awesome. I'm really hoping the others are going to join us soon. If you guys could hurry up, that would be awesome. Rage says, Thermarest are, in my opinion, the best sleep mats you can get. That said, you're looking at 150 plus for them. Yeah, I mean, they are the sort of product that it's almost like buying a proper sort of down sleeping bag. You're talking quite a decent price. But then again, the price point on some equipment, you're paying more because it is ultimately better. I'm not trying to poo-poo other equipment, but for example, the comparison of my Snug Pack Base Camp Extreme sleeping bag, which is a non-down sleeping bag, which was probably about yay big, probably about 2 foot across. The down sleeping bag I've now got from mounted equipment for 2 or 3 times the price compacts down to maybe a third of that. Ray says, I've got one, but I'll be honest, I would never bring it to a MilSim in case a bang goes off on it. I actually had a DD tarp. It was the 4x4 DD tarp I took to Defiant events, and we used it as quite a nice sort of wall divider. So we were in, I don't know if anyone's been to, I can't even remember the name of the event, Dog Tag Airsoft. We're in some sort of like fort compound area. I think it's the paintball centre. The area that we were basically staying in is quite open, so we were throwing tarps up to basically stop wind, stop a bit of driving rain, and then also just provide a little bit of additional sort of enclosure. I had a number of grenades, and I think partly it was our barbecue was put a little bit too close to it, and I now have a rather expensive piece of plastic with lots of holes in. So if anybody is looking for a bit of DD tarp to play around with, let me know, because I might be able to cut you off a bit. Ed said, I saw a really interesting podcast about LMGs with Alphonse and Novrich. Have you seen it? I have not. If you could send me a link, mate, that'd be very helpful. Be interested to have a look at that. Kenny Rebel says, I'm looking for open front chest rig that can take a G3 7.62 times 51 size mags, not in multicam, preferably OD green. Any suggestions? I don't have any chest rigs myself, so I can't help, unfortunately, with that. The only OD green kit I've got is a Warrior DDS, which is what I'm going to be running this weekend at the Octo 8 event. So that should be good. DD tarps. Ray says DD tarps aren't that pricey, to be fair. Aren't that price. Well, this was £40. This so I ended up with £40 worth of melted plastic. And he also says Spiritus clone mate with 7.62 inserts, Kenny. There you go. Padre, anyone off to Octo 8 this weekend? Yep, so I'll be there. I believe Andy's going. Lance, unfortunately, can't make it this weekend. But it should be good. If anyone's interested who is going, that you might want some steaks on the Friday night, I'm probably going to be bringing some. So let us know. Maybe we can we could have a laugh over a bit of meat on the Friday night, but I don't want to make that too weird because that's yeah. So if anyone's got any random questions they want to throw in the chat while we're waiting, that'd be really helpful. I can possibly bring some up that we had previously. Danny's going Saturday with Wayne. Nice one. Yep, I believe you're getting there fairly early in the morning. I believe about 8. So. Smith, hiya. Thanks for joining us. Mayflower Gen 6, sorry, pusher rig will carry 4 G3 mags. There you go, Kenny. Rage says, so are you sharing your meat this weekend, Mike? I am. At most events where I have the opportunity to barbecue, I'm always quite keen to share my meat. I'm glad that we're all having fun with that one. Just a reminder, if anybody is packing for an event, we do have on our website these little sheets, typical kit lists. You can download these for free. It's set up as a PDF document, so you can just download these. I mean, I've got a batch of these I print out. Andy gave me quite a good suggestion of laminating them. So, yeah, might be quite useful for anybody that's planning an event. I am notoriously bad with forgetting odds and sods. So that's quite helpful just to remind us. Ed says, tell us a story, Mike, while we wait. I want to hear your idea of farming whales. No, unfortunately, Ed, that is that's a top secret business idea that I only disclose on events. Oh, Lars is here. Thank goodness. Hello. Just one more question from Jack. Are you guys going to NAF? Be cool to see you there. I believe that we will have some of us there. I am definitely booked on. I will probably have some stickers and bits and pieces. So if you come and find us, we'll have a flag flying in one of the campsites. So come say hello. Yeah, you know what? I might even see if we can scrap together some little gifts,
sexy underwear,
bits and pieces. Maybe some sexy underwear. I do actually have a pair of unused multicam boxers that we could throw in as a little prize. So if you come and find us over the weekend,
no fun, is it?
if you come and find us over the weekend at NAF, maybe we'll do something like I take people's names down, and maybe you can win a pair of boxers. There you go.
That's it. Yeah. See who they fit best. Like Cinderella's slipper.
Exactly.
Come find your handsome prince or princess. Sorry, I'm late, guys. I was.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm fine. I was. I got waylaid fondling my gooseberries, and
yes, I did share that.
But I'm back now. I rushed back from the allotment, and it's all good. Produce is being grown. I am allotmenting.
Nice,
as Clarkson would say. I am allotmenting. Cool. So, yeah, I'm here. I had a mad rush to get set up and make a coffee, but I'm here. All right. Sorry,
Jackson says, "Awesome, cheers, Mike. Give the boxers miss." So I'll tell you what, I'll come and find me at the event, and maybe I'll have a beer or something. I'll share that with you instead. How's that?
We'll see. We have a few drinks, and we'll see if we can change your mind.
Ray says, "Is that a background, Lance, or are you actually in the woods?"
I am actually in the woods, mate. Yep. You'll be pleased to know that I'm in the woods, but I can't move because my lead for my headset's far too short, so I can't possibly go over to my truck. And yeah, my door is still open, so my battery will die because my interior light is on.
Lance, you don't know this necessarily, but I had the stupid girl voice on and forgot. So literally launched into the start of the podcast with a stupid girl voice. Yeah.
Jolly good.
Right, so Andy will be joining us in a little short while. Should we launch into the actual main topic? I know there's loads to talk about this week.
He's looking at culverts, isn't he, somewhere? And
he is. He's looking at deep holes in the ground.
Marvellous. Yeah. Bless his cottons. A lovely bit of scenery, though, from the pictures he sent. Yes, it was. It did look rather pleasant. A lot better than the views I get at work. There we go.
I went to a lorry park this morning to have a look round because we're redeveloping it, so that was nice.
So, Lance, how old were you on your first MilSim?
My whole life's been a MilSim, man.
Yeah, it's non-stop, mate. Non-stop. Oh, Christ, I'm trying to think now. Me, Kenny, and Dan did our first ever MilSim together. We were like the three amigos that sort of coined the Punishers and sort of like the Zulu 1-3 team that we've got now. Bloody hell, I've got to have been 30, 31, I suppose. So I've only been into Airsoft sort of like 7-8 years, I think. Something like that. So, yeah, about 30ish, mate. I suppose when I did my first, obviously my first ever event was a skirmish, and then the second event was a MilSim, and that's what it's been ever since. It's just been MilSims and that. So yeah, I think about 30, 31, mate. I think when I went, quite a late bloomer. I was a late puber to MilSim.
Did you have BB guns as a kid?
No, never. No, I had air rifles for actually,
Yeah.
you know, would dish out a bit of damage, but never had BB gun. My mate had a, I think it was a G10 pistol. My friend Matthew down the road, he had a, I can't think who it's made by now, but it was a G10, like a single shot. You had to cock it back each time to fire
like
it.
A double eagle type jobby.
Yeah. Really, just purely guard and plinking sort of job. And we used to fire that at sort of like targets and stuff. But I never had one myself. You know, although the family is in the gun trade, I never actually got a rifle of my own until I was much older, and even more stupid. You know, I should have had one when I was younger, and I'd have been more sensible.
Did you have any news you wanted to share? PP news.
Obviously, yes. New York Coffee. I did share it on the Facebook page. They've changed their packaging into a cardboard box now, so that was that sort of, you know, threw me off when I went to get some, and I was like, "Whoa, hello! I don't know. I haven't had time to prepare for this sort of change." So I sort of stood there and stared at the aisle for a couple of minutes to sort of gear myself up for boxing them up into my basket. But I did it, you know, and I thought that was an achievement for the day. So you know, round of applause for me. So I've got some more coffees. Was starting to panic a little bit. Took me a while.
It's probably the advertising that you've given them over the last sort of.
Well, yeah. I mean, it just completely threw me because I was expecting shiny bags, and I got matte coloured cardboard boxes, and I was like, oh, I don't know what to do now. You know, I started panicking a little bit. But you know, lady in pound shop held my hand, took me up to the till, got me on my way. Happy days. So that was all good. Monday I spent down at Empire Airsoft, which was a wicked day. Always nice to hang out with Kenny down there. Give him a hand to move. He's got a new premises, a lot bigger, so he's got a lot more stock coming in. He'll be stocking a lot more brands that you horrible lot would have heard of, but I'm not going to share it yet because that's his domain to tell.
It's got a very nice shiny floor, I believe.
It's got a very nice shiny floor, which I did leave some dirty footprints on, but that can't be up to it. He'll have to get the polish out. You have to get the pledge out on that one. But yeah, he's going to have loads more storage. So the online stuff will be that'll be improving. Well, not improving. It's brilliant already, but a larger range of stock. There will be a spray booth there for Silly Gilly and his crafting bits and bobs, and I'm guessing for riffs as well. 3D printers are being talked about for sniper mechanics for his bits and bobs. There's actually going to be a shop, so you will be able to go and visit Empire at some point in the not too distant future and purchase bits actually in house and get to meet the guys and the team down there. So yeah, it was really cool. It was a really good day. Really quite hard work, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, it's always nice hanging out with the guys. So yeah, that was my bit of news. So it's all very exciting stuff over at Empire at the moment. So yeah,
nice.
Good luck to him.
I believe we're due to have him on the show at some point in the near future.
I think that's actually in the next couple of weeks. Bloody, since you mentioned Norton last week, I keep getting these virus. Look, McAfee now telling me that my computer could well be infected. So McAfee's jumped on the bandwagon. But yeah, sorry, yeah, I'm digressing there. But so yeah, we should be having Empire on in a couple of weeks' time. So that'd be cool.
Nice.
Looking forward to that. Nice catch up.
Yes. Right. We're now 19 minutes in. Let's get into the topic. So first, MilSim event checklist. So you've garnered up. You know, you've as a young face newbie, you've come back from a Sunday skirmish. And you're sitting there on a Sunday evening. You're like, it was fun. It was fun, but I want to shoot less, eat more, and wander around the woods. Tired
and wet with minimal sleep, staring out into the abyss for 2 hours at a time,
and having to do stag duty. So you've obviously then decided to transition sort of more towards MilSim style events. What's first, Lance?
Well, I've got I am going to be referring to my checklist because I did go a bit crazy on it. So my first point would be, where is it? Hang on. There's a very long list. So ensure the event is right for you and your level of play. Yeah, so that's sort of like a no-brainer. Make sure you do your research on the event and make sure it's all good for you. That also means understanding the rules of the event set up by the organizer. These may differ from other events, so make sure that you check them out and you'll fully understand the rules and things and balls like that. So that was our first point of call for your pre-event checks, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, yeah,
I guess the first
it is
thing,
what it is.
as what we'll call them, Johnny Noob.
Johnny Noob.
Johnny Noob. So it doesn't have to be a boy. It can be a girl because obviously MilSim is Airsoft is inclusive. How would they go about finding the right event for them? We've often talked about sort of the different levels of MilSim events and sort of MilSim style events, and Rage has just come up with a good point of if you go up 4, there's no stack.
No.
Yeah.
Mouth was farted, stand two, stand two.
How do you go about finding the right? How do you identify the right event for you? Do you think?
Well, I mean, it depends on what sort of style of play that you've sort of picked up along. I mean, I'm guessing you would have been airsofting and doing skirmish days for a few months or even perhaps over a year before you sort of decided to take the plunge into doing like a MilSim or a battle sim event. Again, it's going to be talking to your pals that you've obviously made by now, and what you like doing. Whether you've gone for an Op4 loadout because it's slightly cheaper than going full JTF and getting all the kit that's associated with that. I'm not saying that Op4 is cheaper to do. I mean, there is a cheaper way of doing it to get you started. You've already got civvy kit because you're a civilian, funny enough. So you'll already have a majority of that covered. So whether it's like a natural progression to an Op4 role because it's the easiest for you to achieve in the sort of space of time you've got for the event. So talk to your mates. Approach a couple of different events, see what they've got to offer. Check out our previous episodes on our podcast for interviews with other event organisers that we've done. So that might float your boat. It genuinely just reaching out to community really, within reason. Sometimes that can be a bit of a gauntlet in itself because you could ask a sensible question and get a torrent of ridiculous fucking answers from people. And it's like I shouldn't have bothered. Why did I even think this was going to work?
There are no MilSim events. They're all just glorified skirmish days.
Yeah, and then you just start a barrage. Then, so maybe don't use social media. Just talk to people face to face because that's a lot better. That's a lot better thing to do, I think. Sorry, I keep getting these McAfee things. They're really starting to bug me now. But yeah, that's what I'd suggest. That's what I'd suggest you do. Is that look at events, look on YouTube. There might be some event videos that have come out or players that have released videos. See what think. Oh, I like the look of that. That floats my boat. Yeah, I'm well up for some of that. Go about that way. You've got to try it. It's trial and error, isn't it? You probably will go to. I mean, I've been to several events where I haven't enjoyed it, but one of them. I found events that I've really enjoyed. So it's it's one of them. You will find it. You'll find your little corner of the market that you wanna play in, and that's where your happy spot is.
I think one of the things I want to kind of bring up on that as well, from having spoken to a number of organisers now, is that they do generally tend to acknowledge if you've got sort of individuals booking on that aren't part of a larger team. If you are new to it and you've kind of raised your hand and said, this is kind of my first time or whatever, they will look after you. It's in their interest for you to have a good event because ultimately you may become a returning customer. If you're going to go along, get along with them, enjoy it, you'll probably go back there again for the next event.
Definitely.
So it's worth their while to make sure you try and have a good time. So they'll probably put you in almost like a little misfits group. Probably with a few senior people that kind of have a little bit of experience under the belt. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, there's varying types of obviously events as well. You've got your hard routine events, which are sort of that's still in the grey area of where they are. You've got your film sims, battle sims, combat mission style, which is like the Defiant guys like to refer to it as like your combat mission. So you will be taking part in combat style gameplay. And there will be a mission element to it, so hence the combat mission, which I perfectly agree with. Totally agree with that. That's a wicked way of describing it. And again, it's just choosing what you think would be best for you, and it will be trial and error. It will be trial and error.
Battle sims as well. Smaller
exactly.
events. Legion are quite good for those sort of single day, single kind of game events. So it's like a day event, but it's not just you're doing sort of multiple games an hour long. For example, you're doing like a full on day.
Battle sims. A few sites now do night games, like midweek night games. So go along to a couple of them to get used to sort of going out in night time. Your night set up on your riffs and that. Make sure you're happy with all that sort of thing. Just so you sort of prepare yourself a bit, maybe. Yep. It's not a bad shout.
Ray says, having now done both, I would say for your first time, Op4 is a little easier for a first timer. Your camera's just ducked out, Lance.
Yeah, I don't have no idea why. It's probably McAfee saying, well, whatever it is it's saying.
Cool. All right. So we've obviously picked our event. we've booked on. I mean, usually the booking on procedure is the if. Oh, he's gone completely now. The booking on procedure is normally the equivalent of, you know, jumping on a website, buying a ticket in the same way that you would buy a ticket for a festival, or something similar like that. I don't know if Lance is coming. Are you there? Hello.
No reason why that should have done that then, but it decided to go no.
Yeah.
But now, yes, now it goes yes, Lance, you can carry on. Thank you, computer.
Right. So the next thing to obviously do is keep up to date on briefings. So normally the events, the MilSim style events don't just start on the day. Normally there's sort of a few month build up. That could be in the case of sort of Octo 8 style events. There's a lot of kind of very heavy storyline driven posts and the like, and they really go to town with news articles, and they've got like an online element to a game as well. I think it uses armor or some sort of similar thing to that, where they kind of role play little scenarios and things to kind of build the story that you will then obviously jump into when you're on your live game. Legion are very good in terms of issuing sort of advanced warning notices, sort of documentation. You sort of, I mean, I've never been in the army, so I can't really liken it to a realistic scenario, but you definitely feel like you're being geared up for sort of a proper tasking and a proper sort of, it's sort of you're being inserted into an AO to do something, and that's from a Blue 4 perspective. Rage, I'll have to let you kind of jump in from an Op 4 perspective for that. But there's sort of a lot of build up and storyline to that. Defiant, I know Defiant had lots of sort of like little things being dropped here or there in terms of sort of like clues and bits and pieces, and sort of, like a slow ramp up to the event. It's Anvil says, I see Lance is still in that wood. I know, a lot of events they're trying to, a lot of the events they're trying to sort of build your immersion into that game. So they will be, there'll be WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups and all sorts of different groups. Ed made the point that you, in the next stage, is you download every single messaging app and social media platform to make sure you get all of the events information, because it will just be like everywhere.
You'd be like, good God, what am I going to do? How am I going to process this lot?
I mean, it does get confusing sometimes. If you've got sort of 2 or 3 events lined up, you can find that you're bombarded with all this information, and it almost ends up washing over you a little bit. But, ultimately, if you really want to kind of get the most from that event, you're probably going to be wanting to read up on the bits and pieces, because it builds that storyline and the kind of the live action role play around what you're doing on that event itself.
Yeah, defo.
So
nice. Well, that leads us nicely into, obviously, ensuring that you've been added to your faction groups and bits and bobs like that, so you're not going to miss out any on that intel. And like we've said, there can be several. There can be a main chat for the actual event. There can be your JTF chat or your Op 4 chat, and then there'll be your section chat, and then there'll be this chat, and it's just like, wow. So be careful not to add them all. The necessary ones would be ideal, just to sort of keep you in the loop. And then your emails and that as well. Make sure you're checking your emails, your junk folders for any intel you're getting from the event organizer to be printed off, or like your waiver forms and things like that. Yeah. They'll always be sent out to you electronically, which is always good. And then before, obviously, this is prior to the event, is obviously ensuring your family know the location, duration, and have contact details for the event that you're going to. Whether you're 18 or 38, it's always good to let someone know where you are for the weekend and how to get in touch with the site if anything was to happen. And then along with that as well, like me and Mike do, Mike's got my number for contact home for me, and likewise for him. So if anything, if his phone breaks, he can use my phone to contact home, this, that, and the other. So bit of safety there, making sure.
Nobody knows anyone's mobile numbers nowadays. It's a nightmare. If I lose my phone, I can't talk to anyone.
I'm just like, I don't know.
I can ring work when no one's there.
Ring the work, ring the police and say, I'm not missing, but could you ring my wife for me? Just look her up. That's fine. But a little just an easy bit of housekeeping. Making sure your family or loved ones have got contact details for the site you're going to be staying at, when you're due to leave, when you're going to be home. Bits and bobs like that, always handy.
Well, just hang on, just before we go too far. Rage said another thing to consider is you have to think about the cost. An event will be about £100. Food could be sort of 30 to 60 with water, and then the cost of getting there, you can easily look at £200 minimum for actually attending that event. So that's an interesting consideration as well. Something I don't think we actually put on our list.
No, I didn't think really the cost of it.
Yeah.
It was more
with money being tight at the moment. You know, a lot of people are struggling with the price of fuel and stuff. So it is something to consider, especially with certain events. You know, if you're going to be going into, I mean, I found this the recent Defiant one where we were all going as DEA. Everyone was buying left, right, and centre DEA branded stuff, and you know, you could go fully to town. You could spend £300 easy on DEA kind of different tops and jackets and hats and stuff like that. And that's, you know, that's not even required necessarily for the event. So it's just something to bear in mind as well. You can kind of let your money run away with you.
Didn't Andy buy DEA socks and they were actually stopped at customs, weren't they?
Something like that, yeah.
They didn't allow his socks into the country. No sockies for you, sir.
Yeah. Rage also said, I have to be honest and say Legion have been slipping recently with the build up to events. Still nothing out for the event in July. Oh, that's interesting to hear.
But then having said that as well, because there's the Octo event this weekend, and I've not seen the media too busy with Octo stuff leading up to that as well.
I've seen a few bits and pieces here or there.
Yeah,
I know.
It's normally been quite like relatively detailed, and unless it's obviously because sadly I can't make it, so maybe I'm not paying as much attention as what I should have been.
Nah, you're just not in the groups.
I'm just not in the groups. So fuck it. We want that div in there for. He's not even coming. Get out. Go on, big bike. Get out of it.
In terms of the critical information, Anvil has kindly jumped in. I have a road ID tag that stays on my watch strap with any critical information on it. That's quite useful.
Yeah, that's a good shout, mate.
Because it's things like medicines as well. You know, I mean, like if you've got any proper medical conditions and you need to be taking pills for something, or you know, if you're going to suddenly collapse in the woods because you need some specific pill or shot or breathalyzer or I don't know, whatever the thing, or atomizer or whatever they're called, you know, make sure that you let people know. You know, it's not worth dying over. It's a game.
No, yeah, and again, like underlying health conditions, you know, make sure you let your team leader or your team's, you know, your OC, if you like, and the event organizer privately. You know, you don't have to blurt it out at the end of the main briefing when he says, "Anyone got any questions?" Oh yeah, I've got all this wrong with me.
I've got a rash.
Just to let you all know, I've got loads of stuff wrong with me. You know, have a quiet word in your ear. Any medication you're taking, where it's kept, you know, and obviously you'll have emergency contact details on your waiver form for your family and stuff anyhow. So, yeah, always make sure you let some people know. Always good because you're all pals, you're all buddies. You've got to look out for each other. God damn it!
Right, so we've booked on. We're all genned up on the event itself, and we know what's going on. We know when we've got to be there. What's next?
Yep. So now we're sort of moving on to your kit then, I suppose. The good stuff. My favourite. So ensuring your kit meets the requirements of the game as far as possible for you to achieve. Check the minimum requirements of camo patterns or loadouts, along with the use of helmets and other head covers. Again, these may differ depending on the event and the organizer, so do check, because you've been allowed to use a soft hat at a JTF event or a NATO. If you was on a NATO team at one event and you were allowed to use that head cover, you may not be using it at another event on NATO, because it's a different organizer, different set of rules. So just make sure you're prepared and you're genned up on the minimum requirements for kit, you know, and bits and bobs like that. So that's one of the
which again, I did cover this briefly in the introduction, but you can use our typical kit list as a bit of a guide. It's not the be all and end all. You'll probably find that there are things that you want to take off, things you want to add, but it is a good start for 10.
Yes.
So
number one on the list is the November Foxtrot kit list. Funny enough. So yeah, your kit. Obviously, please make sure you're confident with the kit that you're taking with you. By this we mean, have you field tested your kit a couple of times? Got good hands-on practice with it. Make sure you're familiar with setting up your tents or your bashers or your cook systems and how it all works. And you know, it's not in the brand new wrapper when you get there and you're sitting there unwrapping thinking, oh, that's not fucking Christmas. It's like, no, that should be dirty and scratched and you should have used that already and tried it out. Hey, Mike.
I think with a tent, you definitely want to put a tent up in advance of needing to put the tent up, because if it's dark and raining, you ain't going to be wanting to learn how to put that tent up.
Yeah. And if you do have it, and you're missing like a key integral part of it, like it could be like, let's say, poles, then you're pretty screwed. But that's why we've always said, get a basher first before you get tents and stuff. Just get yourself a tarp or a basher. That's the best way to go. But get out in the field. Before you go, get out in the field, get it dirty, test it out, do an overnight sleep out or something in your back garden or a mate's field if he owns a bit of land. Try it out somewhere comfortable, somewhere sort of relatively safe.
You can tell you come from the middle of England, don't you? Oh, in a friend's land.
No, just saying. Loads of people have fields. Come on, Gatwick, for example. There's loads of green land around that. It's got
a big old runway in the middle of it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got a secure fence. It'll be fine. Fine. But yeah, make sure you go out and check your kit. Make sure you have a go with it. Make sure you're happy and confident with it. And it's another put your mind at ease sort of thing before you go to the big show at the end of it. So yeah, that's always a big thing for me is try your kit out. Don't just get your brand new kit. Yeah, chuck it in the bag. I'm ready to go now because I've got my cooking set. Well, have you used it? Have you made yourself a meal on it? Are you happy with it? Does it work? If it's like a gas one, you've got to plug cylinders in or whatever. Do they work? Is it all fine? It's not leaking. There's no dodgy valves so yeah. Make sure you try it out. Please make sure you try it out. Got to be done. So that was that one on that list there. Number 3 I had down, Mike, was ensure all weapons are functioning correctly and have been serviced, cleaned prior to the event, unless they've been recently done. So we're not expecting to clean your. You can do. It's pretty good practice to get into after every MilSim. At least give the barrel a clean out and this, that, and the other, a bit of a can of air and all the little moving parts. But yeah, make sure it's all up and running. Happy days, because I've been to a few events where it's just like, oh, my guns don't work. Well, how? Well, they were working. Well, when? Oh, well, I haven't used them for 6 months. Oh, fuck me. Come on, mate.
It worked perfect. I mean, to be fair, I'm guilty of that. I'm not going to lie. I get them out maybe 2 days before the event, pray, and that's it.
Put a battery in and go.
Yeah.
Oh, fired.
Still works. Yes.
He's back in the game. So yeah, make sure square your riffs in that way, your pistols. Make sure your pistol mags ain't leaking or whatever it is you got. So yeah, always get a bit of maintenance on that. Make sure any items that require charging are charged, and that you have a means of recharging if needed, or spare batteries. Bring spares.
Definitely bring spares.
They haven't got loads of spares. If you've got a AA battery powered torch, bring a spare set of AA batteries for your torch. Unless they have been literally changed on the morning of when you go, but then you could click it and leave it on. So yeah, just bring a little set. They're only
if you decide to take radios, I'm guessing, to be fair, if you're new to the events, you may not have a radio necessarily, but if you do have a radio, please take a spare radio battery, because there is nothing more frustrating than towards the middle of the second day, people going, oh, I can't hear you anymore, I haven't got a radio.
Yeah, I've got comms down. It's like, come on, guys. The Bofangs now, the USB ends on them. They plug into a 230 volt plug socket with a USB attachment, or plug them into a power bank. Get yourself a power bank, you'll get a full charge out of one. You can only be, even the Pebble Explorers, they'll do 2 full charges on a Bofang. They are literally half the size of my phone. Little Pebble Explorer, wicked little charger that is. I've had mine for years now. They must admit the connection's getting a bit loose, but it's like 5-6 years old, and it's been hammered. Like the kids use it for their iPads every day, and I bang it back on charge. So yeah, Pebble Explorer, that's a nice little compact one. And I haven't got the details of the other ones, but they're pretty good as well.
He says bring spare bats for that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, well, a couple of them.
Oh, there is nothing worse than getting out into an event and you don't have a battery.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to be fair, I got all my hands up because I forgot to bring mine out for my fucking thermal scope, didn't I?
I do it all the time. That's why I'm called 9-volt Airsoft, because my LMG runs the magazine runs on 9-volt batteries, and the number of times I've forgotten to replace that, and then end up having no. I've got the gun's working fine, but there are no rounds going out of it.
Well, I had it with the thermal. I was looking through it, and it just started going, and I was like, oh, fuck. And it's not till that point when you think, oh, my battery's in my rig, and I've got this rig on, and they're in that one.
Yep.
And it's like, lads, has anyone got a dub? Between 8 of us, we must be able to scrounge up 4 AA batteries. Everyone was hunting around. Managed to get them, managed to get enough enough juiciness to get us back and that, which was cool. But yeah, I was like, oh, got back there. I was like, there they are. There's the spares. Had spares, just didn't have them on me. So yeah, make sure you've got spares to bring to the event. And if you're going out at night, make sure they're on your person in a sensible container, which they're not going to make any contacts or anything in your pockets or things like that, or potentially explode. So yeah, make sure they are stored safely as well. Any batteries or electrical components, dry bags, again, big one for that, dry bags. So yeah, that was a spare battery. Bomb up all mags the day before the event, so save you time.
Oh,
again,
yeah. Oh, that's such a good point. There is nothing more frustrating than you rock up to an event and people are like, right, I'll see you in 2 hours. I'm going to get my bags.
I'm not even scared to say it. Mark Kettles.
Oh, it's not just Mark. We've had it with like half the team. Right, guys, we're ready to go out. Nope.
I'll say, I'll be there all kitted up, can cream on. Get me a rifle over my shot. Right, Mike, ready? And he's just staring at me like that, going, I'm like, oh, you haven't bombed your mags up with her. And he's like, he doesn't even talk to me now. He just shakes his head. I'm like, you going to be long? He's like, no. I was like, you promise? He's like, yeah. I said, so I'll wait outside. Yeah, yes. I'll be as quick as I can. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. One of the things I found really interesting from the Defiant event recently was that, you know, they made it implicitly clear you've got 15 minutes from us telling you to go out. You know, if you're not ready to go in 15 minutes, then either that's asking to get passed on to someone else.
Yeah, and you potentially be losing the Gucci little op you're going out on, sort of thing. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Or,
yeah,
you know, and people are going to get annoyed with you. People are going to start not necessarily shouting at you, but people will get very frustrated with you because it's just badmin.
Oh, I like that, badmin.
Wasn't sure if I used it right. It came out sounding like badmin.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I like that. Yeah, but yeah, bombing your mags up. It's a no-brainer. You know, just get it done. And it's the same thing when you come back in off a patrol and that. First thing you do, refill all your mags, refill any water that's been consumed, any consumables that you've used up out in the field, replenish your stocks, replenish your kit, make sure that is good to go. And if it takes you 20 minutes when you first get back, I know you might probably be blowing out your ass and knackered, but just get it done. And then you can think, if we're going out again in an hour and 45 minutes, then I can sit back now. I can literally sit back and chill. Especially, and another thing as well with that, with a little bit of admin, if you're a rifleman or your LMG guy, if you're not a 2IC, a radio op, or a team leader, turn your radio off when you get back in the fob. Save your battery. You know, even Shauno, hello, mate. Yeah, you don't need it on. You're in the fob. You know, as long as your team leader's got his comms on, your radio op's got his comms on, or your 2IC or whatever. You know, if there's 8 men in your section, only 3 of you need to have your comms on. You know, the rest of you guys save your batteries. Exactly. Just pop them off when you get back in. You know, defo. Remember,
it's easy to plow through Apple radio batteries as well, because the amount of times, especially if you're sitting there constantly talking to people, or whatever, it's
defo.
It's easily done.
100%. But yeah, so some good little points there, things to remember. So bombing up mags. This also goes for your speed loaders. Make sure once you've used them up, you've refilled your speed loader. You know, that's that done. If you've got multiple speed loaders and you use different weights, ensure these are labelled. So if you've got the little pistol 9mm mag sort of size clicky speed loaders, you're using 3.6s and 4.3s and 2.8s and stuff like that, then label them up. You know, I've done it before, and that's where I've learned that mistake from picking one up and going, oh shit, what's in that one? And then, yeah, you know, basically cocking up and loading a load of mags that I've then got to empty out. So yeah, label your speed loaders, ensuring that you've got the correct BB for your for the type of rifle that you're using.
Label everything. Don't just label your speed loaders. Label everything, because we lost your trigger flask, didn't we? For maybe about 2 hours.
Well, technically, we didn't lose my trigger flask. Let's be fucking real. No, we didn't lose. Lance put his trigger flask here. Lance put this down on the table, didn't you, Lance? Yes, I did, Lance. John, the squits, picked it up and thought, oh, this looks just like my flask. Oh, fuck it, I'll just drink out of this one. So he walked around the fire all nonchalant, swigging away on my nice hot brew I just made. And I'm like, where's my flask gone? I can't find my flask. I ain't left it out in the field.
We've got the entire section looking for it.
Yeah, you're right. Nobody's doing anything until we found my flask, because it was there. And John's like, mate, this is my one. No. And then, what is it, 25 minutes, half hour later, he's going for his bag. He's gone, oh, shit, Lance. Yeah.
Just
found my cup. That was your cup. It was a lovely brew, though. I was like, you bastard. All's well and ends well. Got it back.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah, just. I mean,
I'm
paint
very
pens.
attached to this. I'm very attached to this. Really am.
So I bought
And
these off of.
labeled. It's because John's a thieving bastard.
I bought these off of Amazon. These are little paint marker pens.
Yeah.
So it's not just like a. You can use a Sharpie, but these are basically a water-resistant opaque paint.
Yeah, they're nice.
And it works really well. It lasts a little bit longer than like a Sharpie.
And in black Sharpie on the bottom, it does actually say "silly goose" on it, which is what my wife put on there. So if he'd looked and gone, "Oh, no, that's not my flask," because why is it? So, there he is. There John. You swine, sir. But yeah, label your kit so then you don't get other fuckers nicking it and then returning it once they finish the contents of it.
Yeah.
Be like me boiling a bag dinner and just like, John, no, it looks like mine. I'm gonna eat that one. Oh no, sorry, Lance, it's not mine. This is your one, but I've eaten it. Sorry, but here's the packaging back.
Anvil says bit of sniper tape and some Sharpie plus more alley points. Exactly.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. All good, all good, all good. So yeah, that's the labeling stuff. You know. So on to number 6. Number 6. Make sure your kit is waterproofed and sorted into dry bags prior to packing. So although the event and weather may say differently, it's good to get into the habit of dry bagging all your individual kit as much as possible, paying particular attention to spare clothing and electrical items. So yeah, although it's going to be a nice summer event, there's nothing wrong with getting into that habit of dry bagging your kit, individual kits, your foot care, you know, socks, pants, doing your Ranger roll, putting it in a dry bag, some electrical items, bits and bobs like that. Bergen liners, 100%, mate. Yeah, Bergen liner. If you can't stretch to a Bergen liner, great big heavy duty Travis Perkins rubble sack that's really bigger than the Bergen. Couple of them inside there, they work just as well. Roll the top over. They're a good hardy bag, and they're a tiny amount of the price of an actual Bergen liner. But again, if you do stretch to a Bergen liner, then happy days to you. Fair play. But yeah, the big rubble sacks are just as good, fully waterproof. So
and take a rubble sack anyway. It's something or
yeah,
bags are okay, but rubble sacks are a lot more versatile.
For your gash bags or something like that, but to collect your rubbish up, keep your admin squared away, and rubbish that off the ground is always good. Especially it helps the organizer out at the end of an event when there's not just detritus everywhere. If you've kept on top of it throughout, just bag up your own individual little bit of kit, chuck it in the bin liner, and then 9 times out of 10 there's a bin there that you can chuck it in or take it home with you. At least it's all double bagged, then it's not going to leak or anything. So yeah, waterproofing your kit is essential, and then obviously making sure that kit bags and clothing that require any waterproofing to be put on them, if you've not done it for a couple of years, your knit wax, you're going to wash it through your washing machine at home with a knit wax mix, or your Fab Seal Golds or whatever it is you're using. Treat that, all your waterproofing agents where needed, and do it well in advance of the event. A couple of weeks beforehand, give it a chance to hang out in the garage or somewhere or outside, just to let it air out, get rid of that sort of the solventy sort of smell. And again, now I've actually put that on there as well. Label your kit, clothing, jackets, hats, anything like that. Just pop your initials in there or whatever. And yeah, but the waterproofing side of it, yeah, as and where it's required. If it's obviously a brand new jacket, you may not need it, but certainly like the British Army smocks and that, I always give that a treatment once a year. It rarely gets washed, so it is gipping. But I just find layers of dirt and waterproofing seem to do the trick quite nicely. Always good.
It's important though, ultimately you can be out and about, a shower comes down and you're going to get wet. So
Oh,
hey,
hello.
Sorry I'm late.
Hello. It's all right. How's the culverts in the countryside? They look lovely.
Lovely today. There was a massive boulder in one, so we had to try and move that by
just pure manliness.
Pure manliness, yes.
Wonderful.
Just stare at it in a manly way.
That's like Jedi.
I just kind of sat in the hole and just went, yeah, that's fucked us.
Well, that's shag that, hasn't it?
Yeah. Great, got to work late again tomorrow, pricks.
Good one, Boulder.
Yeah. Fuck's sake.
Did you draw a Sharpie face on it just so you had something to shout at?
Yeah.
Give it a personality. Really go to town. Wilson, you're massive.
Yeah.
Anvil said, I thought Andy had grown some epic mutton chops, but it was just his collar. Mega
No,
disappointed.
I'll try. Although I've got to shave it off, so
Oh, you've got your confined spaces coming up, haven't you?
yeah, I'll push it back till next month just to keep it a little bit.
Can you just
A
like
little bit
stay
longer.
outside the hole and send someone else down?
Well, yeah, and still get the pass on the course.
Yeah. So, well, what if I promised not to go in the confined space?
It's the confined spaces management course. It's like, yeah, you go down there.
Yeah. I am a viewer of confined spaces.
Yeah. Oh, I'm doing that after. I'm doing that after the confined space.
Right,
Fair
bringing us
play.
back on
You've
topic.
got to do both.
Yes. Sorry.
Bring us back on
Yes,
topic.
hi. How far have
No,
we
it's
got?
fine. Ray said dry bags can cost once you have a few for your first event. Bin bags will do. Then if you enjoy, you can buy dry bags as you go.
Yeah, definitely. 100%,
Dan
mate.
says you can also get them in Hobbycraft.
Woo! I know Millets do. Do you know what? I've got.
Oh
one
no,
from
hang on.
Millets.
Sorry, we're talking about the ink, the paint pens. That's slightly different. But Dan has said that you can get dry bags from Sports Direct. Sorry, I'm
there
trying
we
to
go.
follow the chat at the same time. It's and Kenny says that rubble sacks make good cheap liners.
They certainly do, mate. Yeah, I've used them several times myself. I mean, you can even go as far as to have a couple of rubble sacks doubled up, rolled over in the base of your Bergen with your Bergen liner inside it. You know, just to be totally, you know, if your bottom of your Bergen sits in a sodden bit of grass or a deepish sort of puddle, then you've got that triple layer there, keeping your kit dry, which is
As long
always
as your
good.
kit's dry, it doesn't matter.
That's it, mate. Exactly.
Use whatever.
Zip freezer bag again. Yeah, it's an option, mate. Zip freezer bag. Nothing wrong with it at all. Nothing wrong with it at all. Obviously, actual bag liners or dry sacks and that yeah, I've got one. Funny enough, here's one I got earlier. So yeah, they're more robust than your standard Ziploc bag, freezer bag. They're but you know, you can go. These are the ones actually I got from Millets. I think it's called
green
Technicals.
Yeah. Active camouflage.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, old Silly and Mustang ain't got nothing on me, mate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, so I can't even turn. Oh, there we go. Look, it's white on the inside. There we go. So yeah, these are the Millets ones. I've not had any issues with these at all. This is what I keep sort of like me notepad and pen and stuff like that in it. But yeah, always good, always good. But yeah, there's nothing wrong at all with them, like a Ziploc bag or even the bags that you get in the British Army ration packs, which I usually use to put my rubbish in. They're just as good. Save a few of them up. They're wicked little bit of kit.
Yeah.
So
The last couple of weekends have had buy one get one half price.
Yeah, I've been getting a load of sales stuff.
That's quite a good. And they've got like if you sign up to their card, they send you a 15% off every couple of days.
Nice.
Which is
I think I bought.
handy.
I got a set. I got a blue. I think it was blue, red, green, and yellow. I think I got a set of 4 bags. I think they were 30 quid. Was it 2 for 30 quid? Something like that. So yeah, there's some wicked deals to be had, and they're very good. Yeah, I've not had any problems with them at all, or ripping or tears or anything. But you got them. You got the XPED ones as well, which more the squaddies tend to use the old OD greens and the blacks. And Sealskin do their own ones, which are going to be sort of uber expensive. But again, good stuff, all good kit. Even in GG, welcome along. So yeah, waterproofing your kit, dry bags by any means necessary. You know, all good stuff.
Cool. Packing. There's
Damn
a comment.
straight.
There's a couple comments that have been flagged up about packing.
You packing? You damn right.
So Fresh Meat said earlier, he said, for your first time out, be prepared to have half your house packed into a Bergen and you won't use any of it.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
Yeah.
It'll happen. I was actually trying to dig out the picture of me, Dan, and Kenny from our first a weekend event at APOC, and like I said, I was like that thing out of the scrapyard in Labyrinth, just this backpack just went up and up and up behind my head. Like, honestly, it was ridiculous. But there we go. But yeah, and that moved us on nicely. Obviously, ensure you pack all your equipment methodically and are aware of the locations of items within your Bergen, rucksack, or hard cases, etc. So you know, once you've done it the first time, and you're comfortable and happy with it. You know, remember where it goes and repeat the process. So you get into the habit of knowing where stuff is. Left hand rocket pouch, right hand rocket pouch, the little pouches on the front, or if you've had it tailored and you've got your 3 utility pouches at the front, your poncho roll. You know, just how you go about putting your kit away and keeping it all squared sort of nicely, so it's far easier to sort of pack at future events and that thing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Also, those dry bags as well, they help. Like you can color code everything, so you can
definitely
have your
color
food
code
in,
it,
say
label
blue.
What about you, Mike, with your tank bag? That's a good bit of kit.
Yeah, so I mean that's probably, I would say, more for those that have been doing the events for quite a while. But you know, the fundamental problem I always had is that you take something out of your kit and you don't put it back straight away, or it doesn't have a place. So you know, whenever you set a plate carrier, chest rig up, something like that, a really good way of making sure that you know what you've got, where you've got it. You don't need to sort of feel around. Is obviously place things in the same place, and then not so much muscle memory, but you know, you start getting used to the fact, right, that's there, I know where that is. So you know, you've got stuff in the same place. Whereas whenever I was packing a Bergen, I was finding that I was just randomly placing things in different places, because you know, you get home, you take everything out, you pack it away. Next event, you get the Bergen out, you pack it up, and it's all slightly different. So you know, color coding, making sure things are in the same place. We can talk about the tanker bag specifically in another episode, because I know we've talked about that previously quite a lot. But having a way that you can organise stuff will mean that you won't lose it. Your first event, you will just literally turn up to site and your bag will just go, and there'll be shit everywhere.
Just try and keep it minimal. Try and keep it minimal. Try and be as realistic as you can. I mean, I didn't really, when I first did a MilSim, but I just didn't have any inclination of using social media, or I wasn't aware of any airsoft groups or things like this, or magazines or anything like that at all. So I was literally just like, right, okay, let's pack this, and this. I took rations that would have done a full section for about a week and a half. I must have had eight or nine main meals in one of my rocket pouches, as well as snacks and powdered drinks. And I think I had 3 of them in the end, if that. So it's all scaling back here. Go on.
I just want to show this image. So this is, I had actually been MilSimming for a few years at this point, but this was my first time wild camping. And I kind of regressed to my first stage of MilSim. And ended up, I'm the guy. So the image I've shown is there's me and a guy called James, who is a Duke of Edinburgh expedition leader. He has a small 60-litre backpack on, whereas I've got a 120-litre Bergen plus everything hanging off the sides of it. And I don't know how I survived that weekend, because the amount of stuff that I was carrying around, and that, you know, we're trekking miles with that load. So it's good to try.
I mean, it's good fizz nonetheless.
It's good to try and minimise the amount of kit you're carrying, though.
Mike's got legs to die for.
Oh, genuinely, if I lost all my belly, I'd have amazing legs, because my legs have been used to carrying me around for so many years.
You've got lovely legs anyhow, darling. You know, yeah.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Especially in them fishnet.
Well, that got weird.
That got weird quick. Moving on.
Of course, I turned up. It just goes downhill.
Do you know what? There's been no innuendo or anything till you got here. You are a bad influence.
And I didn't even say anything that time.
No. It was. I could see you giving me the look.
It's the look.
Right.
In terms of packing as well, James C, a friend of mine, found out when we went wild camping he had left his tent pegs at home and had to borrow my spares.
There we go. Spare pegs, mate.
It's important to pack properly. So yeah, cool. Sorry, I was just queued those up earlier. So
yeah, no, nice. All good.
Yeah. Use our list.
Yes, obviously we mentioned the
list. Yep.
That was number 1 on the kit list, was to make sure you've got our kit list check sheet. Yeah. Number 1 on the kit list. Have you got the kit list? Yes, I have the kit list. You can tick that off. So obviously labeling, ensuring all you've packed all your equipment methodically and aware of locations of items in your Bergen rucksack in case, etc. Pre-check, check, and then check again. So Terry's mentioned that, you know, practice packing your kit. I mean, my missus rips me to shreds. She's like, "You've been doing this for years now," but it's always that one time where you think, "Right, I won't bother checking. It's fine." You've not got it when you get there, and you think, "I've just driven 2 hours. I've not got. There's no means of me getting that kit." You know, so pack your kit up, unpack it, make sure you're happy with it. Anything that you might be missing, double check your checklists, and just get it's just good practice. It's good drills just to get used to it. Especially if it's your first event, once you're happy that it's all packed up, get it all out and pack it again. Because you might find a different method that you're something more comfortable with, or once you're packed up, think to yourself, right, I need to get my first aid kit. That should be one of the first things you should be able to get to especially if you're living out of Bergen for a weekend. That should be right at the top of your rocket pouch, top of an admin pouch, inside the little zippy lid bit, first aid kit. Yeah, or in my one, I've got a Gore-Tex jacket and my first aid kit right in the top of my Bergen, just so it's easy to grab to. Even go as far as having a little handheld torch in there, because it's a quick thing that you need to get. So, things like that. And you'll find different methods of doing it and different ways of packing it. And you think, oh, I didn't like that sort of orientation. Now I've done that, so I'm going to try this setup now.
Yeah,
But,
And it helped with the
your
nerves
first
as well.
orientation. Yeah,
it will do.
your
Yeah.
first orientation will never be the one that you stick to. I keep
Oh,
changing mine every. I'm sort of settled on mine now, but I keep going. Actually, that's in a bit of a shit position. I'll move that. It's like-
Yeah, exactly, mate, exactly that. And it depends again. See, like the Bergen event, I'd be really inclined just to run a belt kit webbing rather than worrying about a plate carrier, because a lot of some of the smaller bits or the mini items, you can actually lose them in your not lose them, but you can accommodate them in your webbing.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
it takes away having them smaller items inside your Bergen, which allows you to just have like the bigger, bulkier stuff. Your rations, obviously, you'd have a one main meal at least in your webbing set, a couple of bottles of water, your cook set perhaps, but it will free up a bit of real estate in your Bergen for the bigger, bulkier stuff. You can carry some additional water in there, and because you will be dumping your Bergen off at your harbour area or in a stash or something at the site, and coming back to it at a later point. So at least you've got your essentials in your belt kit. So yeah, I would highly recommend a belt kit if you are running a Bergen for a weekend in like a forestry sort of game. It's a lot easier.
Anvil's just asked us, does the list have take extra toilet roll on? It doesn't actually have toilet roll on there. We might have to do a Mark II of the kit list.
You haven't put toilet roll on there.
No, I
You've
think I've
got
got
baby
wet
wipes.
wipes, anti-bac wipes and stuff on there. So yeah, you do definitely need a shit kit.
Yeah, got to have your arse napkins because, well, for obvious reasons, don't you go into that.
Yeah.
Or to see biscuits brown and cancel out toilet roll. That's what I tend to do. But yeah,
I think that's what a few of us do.
exactly, yeah. Bit of toilet roll off the roll though, would be good. Don't take a roll of bog roll, just wrap a load off, put it in a little plastic, little jiffy bag type thing. I can't get to that. It's got loads of stuff on it, but little click shut bag with some bog roll in it. Keep it nice and dry until it's needed, of course, till the big event.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always
right. So we've booked in. We're all aware of the event. We know what's going on. We're packed. We're ready to go. We're there. We've turned up to the event. We've obviously paid any kind of outstanding balance. The organisers know we're there. What do we do now?
Well, number one on the during event bit I've got is listen well to any briefings given by the event staff, team leaders, or your faction's OC. When needed, record details to remember, and it's obviously a notepad and pen, part of your admin sort of stuff. So yeah, I mean, especially if it's your first event, make sure you're listening. Make sure you listen in. You can't listen to anything now because it's knocked his earpiece out. Yeah, make sure you're listening to the to any briefings that are given, especially the safety ones, especially the rule sets. Sometimes they can get a bit confusing, and they can vary, like medic rules and contact drills and contact rules and things like that. What counts as a kill, what doesn't count. Area of effects for grenades and stuff like that. Make sure you're savvy on hard cover and standing behind a twig or a bit of bracken holding up like that doesn't count as hard cover. Trust me, I've encountered it before. There's a fallen tree in front of me. What does that got to do with anything? Yeah, but there's a fallen tree there. It's hard cover. It's lower than your shins. How can it be fucking hard cover, you clown? Do you know what I mean? Mate, I've had it, yeah. It's like, well, that's bollocks. I'm like, you're absolutely right. That is bollocks because you are dead.
Yeah.
I'm behind a leaf.
Yeah.
You cannot see me. But yeah, listening into any rules, briefings, safety briefings are a big one, and any other details that they want to give you, out of bounds areas, things like that. Make sure you're clued up with them, and they're marked down on a map if you need to record any details.
Definitely the out of bounds ones.
Out of bounds stuff. They don't want to be wandering some old girl's backyard and giving her a fright. It's never a good day, or potentially a good day. Depends what you like. Number two,
Having a notepad. I know we sort of mentioned that, but the notepad and pen. The notepad and pen is very important, because there'll be a lot of information thrown at you. And having a watch as well is I would say, almost vital. The number of events is sort of you go to and you see people that don't have watches, and you're like, well, how can we coordinate? What we're going to do? We'll attack when the owl hoots 4 times. Like,
what time should we will attack at dusk?
Yeah.
Dusk.
Yeah, we've only got those two
Yeah.
options because
Yeah.
no one's got a watch.
Yeah, that's a fair one. Yeah, definitely. You bits of little additional bits of kit and a watch. So it's a general thing, though. I mean, Christ, everyone must have a watch, surely. Number 2 on the list, we said ensure. If you're unsure, ask a question. I've always said the only stupid question is the one that doesn't get asked. You know, it could be really silly. It might make you look a bit daft for asking it, but you've asked a question and it puts that to bed. You know, no worries. Ask the question. You know, it's always better to ask. If you're a lone wolf in a team of strangers, make a point of familiarising yourself with your team members. As awkward as this may be, I'm sure they'll be welcoming. You know, at the end of the day, you're in their team. They're going to make you welcome. They're not going to cast you out. Good icebreaker.
Can I just
about
say,
guns.
if you rock up as a lone wolf, though, don't be like, "Yeah, my name's Maverick, and I'm a lone wolf.
Yeah.
I don't run with a pack."
Don't be that sort of lone wolf.
Don't be a tool.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. You know, icebreaker. You know, hi chaps, and have a
Just
sweetie.
give everyone a kiss on the cheek.
Let's talk guns.
You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bonjour.
Yeah.
Mark McIntyre for you there.
Why are you called Frenchie? My first MilSim event, I just kissed everyone.
I'm glad you asked that. So yeah, familiarise yourself with your team. You know, have a good laugh. You know, break the ice. Talk about guns, sweeties, best bit of pyro, best kills, best event, all that jazz. And then we had keep your kit squared away and your admin on point. Don't let your DOS area or cop bed and Bergen get messed up. You know, leaving kit everywhere. It's it's a bit of a shitty thing to do. You know, keep yourself all squared away. It's not a good day for anybody if you just leave your kit all kit bomb. Yeah, first event, exactly that, mate. Make sure you keep it all squared away, and it reassures you. Then you know where stuff is. Nothing's going to get lost. You know, you're not going to leave magnetic Olight stuck to a bunk and drive away from the site and then realise you've just lost over £100 worth of torch.
Donated.
Which some squaddies now got gleaming bit of kit. You bastard. No, fair play. At least I know it's gone to someone in the armed forces. That's the only reassuring thing. Oh, shut up, Andy. It did. It was 2-2 had to have been.
Oh, it was 100%.
2-2 the only one would have been able to spot it.
Yeah.
I didn't show you my new Olight, did I?
Bloody Perrin 2. That was a shit torch anyhow. I didn't like it. Had that review down. That was all lies.
I bought a new one.
The magnet was spot on. Yeah, and it blends in nicely to metal bunk beds. So just be warned. Yeah.
This is when you go back and no one can take it off because of the magnet. It's just left there.
So yeah, obviously your badmin. Yeah, making sure you keep your stuff squared away. And then number 6 that we had there is before and immediately after patrols, taskings. Ensure your mags are bombed up, like we mentioned earlier. Pyro safely stored in a suitable pouch. Batteries fully charged when required. Water bottles, bladders full to the brim, and any rations or sundries that have been used up whilst on patrol have been replenished before you think about talking bollocks and fannying about for an hour and a half because you've got a bit of stand down. Make sure all them little bits are done. You know, bomb your mags, refill all your drinks, and any consumables that have been used up on your kit out on patrol have been replenished and ready to go for the next one.
Yeah, definitely.
Always good.
Don't just sit there and have a sit down.
Yeah, exactly that.
Definitely
exactly
jump straight in and get that done because otherwise you're just going to be you'll be the one that regrets it at the end of the day when you're 5-minute turnaround and you're back out and you haven't done anything and you're going
exactly that, mate.
One mag, no water, no little munchies, no ammo, and you're just kind of going, well, this is fun.
Exactly that, mate. 100%, 100%. And then along with that as well, also ensure any mission-specific items or specialist kit are either ready to go for your next tasking or for the next team's taskings, or they've been signed back into the stores or wherever it is you've got them from, or given to the DS as designated by your TL, and that'll all be outlined after this event, after this patrol. You know, whether you've got an EOD type kit or anything, it needs to be returned to here for the next section to use at some point, or keep it on you and hand it over out in the field. So yeah, all those things will be detailed to you. So just square it away with your team leader. Where do you want me to put this, or who do I hand this to? Make sure that any issues you encounter are raised to your team leader or OC to be addressed with the event's DS. No matter how it may, it may create a bigger problem. Oh, my bloody camera's gone again. Bloody McAfee. Honestly, I might drop out for a second, but then I might be back. Who knows?
I'll so just in case you are new to MilSims or sort of the lingo. So a TL is your team leader. Your OC, I actually don't know. What? Well, who's your?
OC.
Yeah, he's written OC. I think it's IC.
OC. IC. It should
Yeah.
be.
Which is your sort of in command, basically.
Yeah. Not
and
OC.
the DS are. I'm not exactly sure the exact definition of DS. To be fair, is it drill staff or
officer in command, or your CO be your commanding officer? DS is
commanding officer?
Yes, it'll be a
Yeah,
direct.
isn't that CO, not OC?
Well, you can officer in command or commanding officer. You can have OC or CO.
Okay, fair enough.
DS will be your directing staff.
Directing staff.
Oh, I haven't heard OC.
Dead
OC
stop.
before.
Dead
stop. Or officer commanding is a very British way of saying it. As
That's a very British way.
Officer commanding. Lovely boy.
Like
Yeah. I can't do it with the wax.
Yeah, Rage says OC officer commanding, but never encountered that in MilSim. DS is directing staff. So there you go.
Ooh.
Cool.
You got the acronyms. Love that.
Learnings.
Yeah. So yeah, it was any safety issues and things like that. You know, make sure you address them straight away. You know, it might not be a massive problem at the time you're noticing it, but it could create a big problem later on. So yeah, worth mentioning it. You know, they might be aware of it already, but at least then you can sort of rest assured, well, I've mentioned it to someone, they're aware of it. So all good.
Nice.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So there's all sorts of things that have been thrown into the chat. So I will cue through some of those. Dan said, "What sort of gun would you recommend for your first MilSim? Something tuned to the max or dependable and reliable, hardly tuned?" I think just to clarify, I think it depends on at what point you're joining a MilSim event. So if you're presumably, most people won't necessarily just go, "I'm going to do MilSims now." There would be an element of starting in Airsoft. It won't necessarily be someone that's gone down a corner shop and bought a cheap pistol and then gone, "Oh, I'm going to do the full-on thing." Maybe they are. I don't know. So I would suggest that maybe they've probably already got a fairly reliable Airsoft weapon of some sort. But yeah, I just sort of clarify that. But yeah, guys, what do you think?
I would say dependable. It would be the main one. Unfortunately, with the people that you will be playing against, they will have tuned up to the max weapons, because it's just that a lot of people have been doing it for a long time. But as long as you go out with a dependable weapon that you know that's going to carry on fine for the duration of the weekend, that's all that matters, really. You'll still have fun. If you don't have one that's got the range of other people, just get closer. It's not a problem as long as it will last you for the weekend. That's what my priority would be.
Yeah, I mean, again, I had a conversation the other day regarding the airsoft rifles. Now, the QC on various companies that are bringing new rifles and that to the market, and how a lot of people across the board, from TM to Bolt, to G&G, Aries, everything, Crytek, how some of the people have noticed there's been sort of little glitches and things that weren't quite as good to a couple of years, like pre-COVID sort of stuff. So whether their quality control sort of slipped a little bit of late, not from anyone in particular. I'm a member of the Bolt, the Bolt owners sort of group on Facebook, and a few guys are mentioning there about some of the things that they've encountered, and we've actually got one of the guys from Bolt. He's a member of the chat, and he's sort of answering people's questions and offering some reassurance and obviously advice and bits and bobs like, which is great. But yeah, I mean, a standard M4, let's say a G&G combat machine, I know people are going to do them up to the nines. They're going to put MOSFETs and this, that, and the other. But how much farther? What more range are you going to get from chucking 500 quid's worth of upgrades into a £150 AK, for example, than the standard AK? Is it going to? I mean, we're talking meters. We're not talking hundreds of meters. We're talking within 100 meters. If one out the box can shoot 30 meters, are you going to be sort of getting 50, 60 meters, but it's going to cost you sort of 300 or 400 quid to get that extra 30 meters. A standard Simon AK, that will serve you perfectly for an Op4 event. Because I've struggled to find someone who's had really bad experiences with a Simon AK. I mean, that's even across the pond over in the US. They bang on about Get yourself a Simon AK. Just get you, even if you barely use it, everyone should have one because it's just one of those guns. Apparently, I've not got one, but apparently it is one of those guns to have. So I think, yeah, I'd go, especially if you're new to it. But then, like Mike said, you might have been airsofting for a while and you would have tuned your rifle up a bit for your skirmish days and this, that, and the other. So it may well be tuned up already. But I don't. My MP5 that I got from my Simon MP5 Blue Edition, that's not tuned up. The Blue Edition has got better parts than the standard edition, but it's nothing else been done to it. All I've done is put a slightly higher torque motor in it because I thought the firing rate was a bit slow. And that's perfect. I don't intend to change that. The barrel's the same, the hop unit's the same, the hot rubber and the nubs are all the same. It's the Simon one that came with it. I've got no intentions of changing that at all because it works perfectly well for what I need it to do. I don't want it shooting 100 meters because it's an MP5. You know, I can use it in any environment because it's a good little rifle. So yeah, I think something that's reliable, something that you've not sort of cocked about with too much. But it's a bit of a gambit question because it depends on your personal circumstances, isn't it, and what you choose to do. You know, if you haven't upgraded it, and you want to do a MilSim, then great, go do a MilSim with it. There's nothing wrong with it at all.
You shouldn't be embarrassed with what you're taking at all. Like you should just use it and enjoy it. I'm one of these people that I will buy a gun, I'll use it once, and then it will get thrown in. I'll know what's wrong with it, and I'll throw it to my tech and get it upgraded. Right? That's how I enjoy the game and things like that. But I wouldn't look down on anyone that just went out and they turn up to their first MilSim and the G&G comes straight out the brand new box. And like,
crack on, mate. Fill your boots.
I'd say test it before you run out onto the field. But yeah, I wouldn't have any problem if someone just turned up and had a brand new one.
The only thing I would say is I think with any MilSim style event is that it's not an open skirmish day. So, you know, you get people that rock up to skirmishes dressed as stormtroopers. They've got, 12-foot dildos that have been called out and they've slid them onto the end of their rifles and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's not my bag.
That I would suggest that maybe if that's your normal game style play, maybe you might want to reconsider that slightly.
Yeah, have a little rethink on that one.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. You know, ultimately, I don't think people are going to care that much. I think it's more about as long as you're there, engaging with the event, engaging with the people there, engaging with the activity, kind of taking on the element of immersion and role play that kind of comes with these events. Then yeah, I don't think anyone's going to really care.
No.
Do you know what I'd love to do? I'd love to do an event. We were talking about this last night, Mike, weren't we? I'd love to do an Iron Sights event again. But it's stripped back like that. We did a Vietnam event at APOC, girls and boys, a couple of few years ago now, and it was no scopes, no red dots, no night vision, no thermal. You was allowed. I don't even know if you was allowed a tack light on your weapon. I think you might have been allowed a torch on your weapon. Iron sights only, unless you was a designated sniper. And I think the rule was as well. We were only allowed 2 snipers in the field at any one time from the VC and from the Americans. So you might have 4 sections or 5 platoons or whatever it is, but you can only have 2 snipers. So there'd be 4 snipers in total in the game zone at any one time. You could have other snipers there, but they wouldn't be playing a sniper role. And that was awesome.
Yeah,
that was proper good. So no scopes, there was none of that business. It was a basic rifle with your field sights, and I think you were allowed a torch. I think you were. You might not have been, but I'm sure you were.
And we must have been allowed a torch.
We were allowed tracer units as well, obviously for night time as well. And we had green for the Americans and red for the VC. That was probably getting on for one of the best events, weekend woodland living out your bag events that I've done. That was proper good, and that was using a 58 pattern belt kit because I couldn't get the US stuff because I wasn't prepared to spend the money because potentially I wasn't going to do another event like it. Classic Lancer anti-sniper. No, I'm not. I hate you. You say such horrible things about me, Edward. I'm not anti-sniper at all, but it was really good. It was a really good test for people. Oh, so I'm just filling up coffee at the moment. Bear with me. I'm done. Good.
What happens if you got the old Vietnam style infrared? You know, they used to have them.
Starlight. Was it Star Scope? Star.
Yeah.
Oh,
What happens if you
Christ,
went out
man.
and bought one of those? They can't really say no. You can't use that.
I would
Like,
love you
suppose
to
I
be
mean,
able to find one.
Yeah, the one that worked. I mean, because apparently they were pretty shit then.
Yeah, they were crap.
Oh, what was it called? Star something or other.
It was Star. I thought it was a Starlight system, something like that.
Yeah. Oh, this is when we need TBA to put to approve
Yeah.
what we're saying, because
Yeah.
he'll be jumping up and down right now. No, wrong. It's not called that. But yeah, it was complete bare bones, and there was no dramas about it. It was wicked.
like
It was
that.
nice.
Starlight
to
Night
get back to doing
Vision Scope. It was
that.
called
Starlight Night Vision Scope.
Yeah.
There we go. So yeah, they were about. But yeah, that's what it was. There was no thermal. There was no night vision. It was real back to field craft, sneaky peeky at night time, moving really slowly, and it was intense. It was really intense. You know, especially when our fire base got hit, and they were literally just coming out the woodwork. But brilliant. You know, mortars going off through the night, flares. It was quality. It was such a good event. You know, we had to do extractions under fire from down helos and stretcher people out and stuff like that under fire. It was wicked. Really good event. Thoroughly enjoyed that. I'd love to do one of them again.
That does.
It was cool. We actually got some really cool black and white photographs. One of the photographers actually had a camera from that era, like 60s, mid 60s, like just a little wind on, and he took a load of footage, a load of pictures of us out in the field. So you were putting filters on it. Those pictures were those pictures. It was fantastic.
Yeah, that's
really
awesome.
good. Yeah, I'll have to dig a few of them out, stick them
Yeah,
up.
I'd
but
love
yeah.
to do that, but I guess with slightly more modern kit, because it means that, doing a Vietnam event would mean having to go and buy a whole load of Vietnam era, which I haven't got a problem with. But
yeah,
it's
no.
just, again, it's additional cost to do.
Do you know what? The only thing I purchased additional to what I already had was a couple of 7th Cavalry patches.
You've got bits of everything.
No, it was a really. To be fair, I know it's like, oh, we're going to a Vietnam event, but literally, I bought a set of 58 pattern webbing, British Army 58 pattern webbing, because it looked the same sort of era.
Yes, near enough.
I bought a fakey US American bottle holder, like the materially sort of bottle holder, the American, the US canteen.
Yeah, the US, yeah,
canteen. And I had that on there. I bought a fake US helmet. It was metal. It was 30 quid off eBay, so it had all the internals and bits like the old M1 helmet, whatever it was called, with a jungle covering. And what's the name of the pattern? I can't think of the name. Is it Mitch Jungle or something? With a little leather strap around it. I reckon I probably spent about a $1 to create a really relatively convincing load, not a reenactment loadout by any shape or form, but a one that you could get away doing it, clearly be identified as 7th Cav at an event sort of thing. So yeah, I was quite happy with that. EDR, there we go, EDRL. Well done, Wayne. So yeah, it was brilliant. And really scaled back kit. Barely nothing. Mess tin. Solid fuel burner. Tried to use corned beef and oldie sort of foods and things like that. It was brilliant. I was CO for the US Marines, and I actually got served a lovely meal, which has been talked about a few times by Fritz. Fritz, God bless him, peeling spuds under fire. Never forget that. Making mashed potatoes while we're getting rounds coming in. That was fantastic.
Could you imagine getting a BB in your mashed potato though?
Oh mate, yeah. Yeah. Filling roulette.
Yeah, filling roulette.
Ed says, does using a Springer airsoft pistol count as starting an airsoft if you're shooting your brother in the back garden?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
That's your first tentative steps into the world of airsoft.
As long as it's your brother.
Yeah.
Not just some random walking along the street.
Yeah. Picking off passers-by.
Yeah.
Or naked ramblers, for that matter, as well.
Or naked ramblers, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going to go through, because I've got like 20 odd things sort of queued up, and these are just sort of general comments. So obviously, when we were talking about the stag duty and the like, there was just a lot of stuff about Defiance event as the contact. Oh, sorry, it's a deer.
Yeah.
Kenny said, "Oh, acorn falls on the floor." Let's go stand to. Fresh Meat said he's got to admit he does enjoy a silent patrol and section recon.
He clearly said recce, and you made a point of calling it recon. Take it
Anvil
back.
Anvil says we all know someone that's rocked up to the event at 2 a.m. with their brand new tent and pissed everyone off. Yeah. Rage says, don't take a pop-up tent unless you're going to see Atomic Kitten with Lance.
Yeah.
That's the standard there. Yeah. That's obvious.
Ed said, Lance, what did you say that power bank was called? Did you get it on Amazon?
I did get it. It's the Pebble Explorer. It's a little black sort of rubberized cover, rounded cornery sort of type thing, about half the size of my phone. About half the size of that. And it's got a blue LED digital readout, so it's a 99% when it's fully charged. I think it's got 2 USB and a micro USB for charging the pack itself. Yeah, really good bit of kit, mate. Yeah, I do recommend them. I've got ones that's got I think you'll probably get about 2, probably 1.5 to 2 iPhone charges out of it. Yeah, there we go. That's the kiddie. Oh, it's got a torch. Oh, that's not the one I've got.
No.
Mine's a bit older than that. Mine's quite old now. Yeah, don't come with a torch. No, none of that jazz. No.
Right, if it came with a torch, you'd just leave it somewhere, though, wouldn't you, Lance?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I tell you what, good job to come with a magnet.
For anyone listening back on the podcast, I'm just putting a few of these things up on the screen for YouTube as well. So if you want to go and look these things up, there's a whole list of the actual Amazon.
Yeah, but Ed, see if it's got any pairing 2 light torches on there, mate. Give us one more.
Yeah. Ray says, I bring enough spare batteries for everybody at the bloody event. Really need to stop being so paranoid that I'll run out. Kenny then said, well, I'll be sorted if I forget my fleshlight bats. If Rage is there, then Kenny Rage then says, Kenny, I could just give you my spare flashlight. And then he said he meant fleshlight. So yeah, again got weird. And then Avril just said, also practice changing batteries in the dark. So I'm assuming that wasn't to do with the flashlight. I think that was just a general comment.
No, I think that was probably straight down.
I think it was to do with flashlight. Yeah. I think he just jumps right on the bandwagon there, just gone 2 feet first.
He just went in. Yeah.
Just went in.
Kevin, chip in here, lads.
Kevin says badmin is a thing. I have heard the phrase. It's one of these things you don't generally tend to use. Like whenever I talk to Danny always teaches me like new phrases like ting and stuff like that, and I always feel like stupid saying it because I don't use it that often. But then I also use phrases like gash bag and stuff like that for like rubbish bags and things. Which people always sort of pull me up and they're like, "What? Sorry, what bag?"
What did you say?
What?
Yeah, especially when you use it at work. That's a weird environment.
A
gash bag.
Yeah,
gash.
that's something
Rubbish.
else.
No, not that gash. We mean gash as in rubbish gash.
Yeah.
You get.
You can't put that in a bag.
My
Terry's...
It could be a bag.
Okay. Terry says, Mike, can you put a link up for the paint pens? So this is just the one I bought. That seems to work quite well. So that's the white version. I think they do sort of various different colours. So 448. So there you go. Edding 780.
The old Edding 780. Yeah, no, well, nice bit of kit. Much better than the 760.
Ray says, if you're missing something, you can always just get a pink one with unicorns on it. Doubtful anyone would nick it then.
Are we still talking about flashlights?
No, that was something else. That was about your trigger mug.
I don't think I'd have the same effect on me if it was a pink unicorn.
A pink unicorn.
I'd be like, well, this is going to be a challenge.
Oh, fuck's sake. Got to get through these. Ed said, remember, guys, waterproof doesn't mean heat proof. So just this is just the funniest thing that I've ever seen at any event ever. Ed was trying to basically sort out some coals or logs in a fire. He had his thermal gloves on. And he's
sealskins.
Sealskin thermal gloves on. So like 40 pounds of glove.
I was going to say, you probably wouldn't get much change out of 60 quid for a pair of them.
So he's pulling the logs about and then was confused as to why the entire back of the gloves had all melted in and like started to. And he's like, but they're thermal. He's like, yeah, but that means you keep you hot, not that they're fireproof. So
thermal, top tip fireproof are 2 different things entirely, mate.
John Connor Jennings says, well, it depends if you're eating the army rations, then you won't shit for a week in terms of the spare toilet roll.
No, yes.
James C said, have you lot tried toilet paper tablets? They're compressed toilet paper, add moisture to them, and then they begin to expand. I'm assuming they're like
we're not popping it in like a suppository, are we?
No,
like a tampon. Anal tampons.
I think I brought an extra large tampon.
Yeah, because then you buy the beach towel version or whatever like that. It just rapidly expands.
I've not heard of that. So I'm trying to get my mind around me using a compressed toilet paper tablet. So there needs to be
I
some
think
moisture
you put
nearby.
water on it. So I think there are little things like that. You put water on it and then it expands into like a bigger. You know, you get like super compressed clothes, like t-shirts and like little cubes.
Well, so it's
You
like
see
a
those
little
before?
mini toilet roll that you add water and it just. And
I
you
don't
get
think it's a
full
mini
roll.
toilet roll.
Is it like dehydrated toilet paper?
I think maybe. I don't know how wet toilet paper is normally. I don't...
Oh my god, this is blowing my mind. I've had too much coffee.
So James C, in answer to your question of have we tried? No,
No,
we haven't.
no. But James, science it will be done. Don't worry.
What happens if
We
you
will
just
do
put it
science.
direct without making it wet?
Don't do that with your finger.
Would it?
Right,
Would it
we'll
just
come back
expand
to that
around
one. We'll have to go away and do some
Mike's got the
science.
right-
And
Mike's
I know
got the
James
right
here.
idea.
Yeah, you put it's like a compact wet wipe that's
piss on
dry,
it.
and you put a bit of water on it. You don't piss on it because then it's. Well, I guess you could theoretically, and then you can sort of expand it out, and you'd have like a wet wipe, I guess. If you piss on it, it would be a wet wipe covered in piss. But yeah,
Well, I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Sounds like a bit of a faff. Oh well, I'll give it a go though. I'll try anything once within reason, and then if I'm drunk, then it's different.
Yeah.
GG says, how much shite should one expect going to an event wearing British DPM camo but using an M4? I don't think, depending on the
wouldn't have thought.
What shit
loadout
would
for
you
the event.
expect?
So, like, if it's like an Op4 event where you're
What
wearing
I mean is in like
DPM
piss
anyway,
taking or something.
Yeah.
No, I'll expect you not to
I
get any
wouldn't have
because
said anything.
the British DPM pattern is probably one of the best camouflages you can use in a wooded area. Much better than MTP.
I have a feeling GG's possibly from America. You might have to confirm
Mate, if
that
you're
because I know
GG,
there's a
if you're
question
rocking
before, so I don't know
DPM in
if-
the US, then fair play.
Yeah.
I think it's quite expensive over there.
You bloody
It's
I
really
think
expensive.
Andy,
because
you
the
were
guys,
talking about going over there, weren't you?
guys
Yeah, I
at
was-
Guerrilla Airsoft talk about it quite a lot.
Yeah. I was
Well,
going to go
DPM.
over, buy a load over here for like pennies, go over to an army surplus op and say, I'll do a swap for some of
Well,
your decent American gear.
get some Desert DPM and link up with GG when you get to the US and sort her out with some kit and a couple of patches from NoFo from us.
Yeah, you can't
Okay.
always do that. Depends where
Yeah,
she
no,
is.
you shouldn't expect any shit.
No,
They'll probably
Andy,
be
it
going,
doesn't matter
"Oh,
where
that's
she
how
is.
I
You've got to
ran
go
with
find her.
in September.
Yeah. when you're laying
Yeah.
in a bush and you've got the dude
drive
running
around.
past your GG, wondering where the shots are coming from, mate, then you'll be able to laugh back in the faces. But yeah, woodland areas, mate. The British DPM pattern works a treat because it's got the shadow in, it's got the
Absolutely
slightly
spot on.
lighter colour. It's a wicked pattern. I do like it very much.
Padraig says, I wear some weird shit at MilSims. Wear what you want. No
That
one gives
does.
a fuck.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
mate. Yeah, within reason, as long as it's inside the camo pattern rules, Pedro. But then you dress as a corrupt police chief 9 times out of 10, so you are quite a niche market.
Or a baker, isn't it?
Or a baker,
Yeah,
yeah.
baker.
Or an olive seller.
Yeah,
No,
getting-
that's a different event. No, I'm thinking of Vern.
No, it was the baker that was throwing half-cut loaves at people's heads as they were driving past. It was, Puff, oh, fuck
It's
was
bad for business there. Yeah, it's a poor business model. This guy's a baker.
Uh,
Come and buy my
Just
bread. No, it
launch
hurts.
Right. I think we probably better call it a day. We've got an hour and a half now. GG's asked another question, but I'll save that until next week and we can throw that one in.
Oh,
there.
don't be horrid. No, ask it.
Oh, okay,
Stick that
fine.
in our.
Are there roles at MilSim for us sold? Slow, old, lethargic, and decrepit people. LMG gunners.
LMG gunners, yeah. Stag.
They walk quite slowly.
We want stag, yeah.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
walk very slowly.
There's something for everyone at MilSims, mate. But again, that'd be in the rule set before. If you read an event, it's going to be you've got a 10-kilometer tab into an event, and if you've got some mobility problems, then it might not be the. However, there might be another role within the event that you could carry out, which doesn't require you to 10k
I love
march.
that,
I've never had to
sold.
do one,
That's definitely a
but
patch.
but yeah, no, I'm sure there's they're all MilSims are all very inclusive, mate. So I'm sure there'll be. But obviously,
Snipers are
within
quite
reason,
slow.
airsoft it's a physical sport. You know, you need to be able to sort of carry yourself for a certain distance and be required to sort of look after yourself a fair bit. And a lot of organisers state that that you're medically fit and you're happy to carry on doing this. So it's a tough one.
I had gout for the day at the last one I went to, so that was pretty tough.
Gout's
But
bad.
powered on through
I
rather than
developed
went
gout
home.
once. Touch wood, I've never had it since, but I developed one at an event in my big toe. Oh, fucking cried my eyes out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't yet.
Well, I pray you never have to. But if you
Yes, I
do, make
agree.
sure you're with me because I've got loads of drugs in my bag, which stops it hurting.
Nice.
Most
I'll
of
just
them are
be.
legal.
I'll just be with you for the drugs, mate. To be honest.
Yeah. You just be coming up to me. I've got gout again. Really? Yes.
I'm like, Lance.
Right.
I don't think you have, Andy.
Last comment from James regarding the loo roll. Apparently, you can carry a month's worth of loo roll in a large chewing gum tub.
Hmm.
This is blowing my mind.
We're going to have to buy some of these. This might
I
end
want a
up being
video,
a giveaway.
James. Otherwise, I want a video. It didn't happen.
I'm going to go on. That's my science for next week.
Science when it's Lord, that's me. Right, I'm doing events. Yeah, there's some science to be had there with toilet roll.
Right. Lastly, and I've lost the comment, unfortunately, Terry asked if we were going to be doing our list of acronyms. We will be, and that will be going on the website. It's just we've got a lot of other exciting things in progress at the moment. Various bits and bobs that we're dealing with.
Highly top secret, we can't tell you about. So
yeah,
Have
so
we?
that will be coming out on the
Probably.
on the internet,
Yeah.
on the website.
Mike knows about it. I don't.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah,
I keep
it's
it all together.
Was it the rich man's disease or the king's disease or something they called it? Gout, wasn't it? Rich
Yeah, it
foods
is.
King's disease, isn't it?
and as such, yes.
So basically, for those that don't know,
toe.
quick gout lesson. Gout is basically the formation of uric acid crystals in the joint, where your kidneys are unable to process it, and uric acid is quite high in things like meat, red meats, red wine, all that
cheeses.
sort of stuff. Yeah, and it is actually genetic apparently. So if you do have like a genetic disposition towards gout, so if you have a parent that has gout, then you may be more susceptible, but it kind of is brought on by eating a lot of these things, and then sort of over time your body just sort of gives up and goes, oh, that's it. So
Neither of my parents had gout. Does that mean that potentially one of them wasn't my parent?
Or you just say a lot of.
Why are you nodding? Is that actually a thing?
I wasn't listening. Sorry, what did you say?
Oh my god! Oh, I said neither of my parents have had gout. Does that mean that they're
No.
not my parents? And you're like, yeah, probably, yeah. I'm like, you just
Sorry, no.
just
No.
destroyed me.
So no. The point is that you have like a genetic disposition to gout apparently, but it doesn't mean that you can necessarily have a flare up or an attack or anything like that. So it might just be that you are more susceptible to it. But yeah.
You don't have to run GG, I manage. I've seen you run before Rage. But granted, it was when a Rizzler blew out your hand. You had to catch it to make a roll up, but I did see you run. And he caught it as well.
Yeah.
There are a lot of events.
Speedy move when we got attacked that time. You nicked
Yeah,
behind the
he's
door
got
and
the
left
moves. Rage's
everyone
got the moves,
standing
man.
up. Yeah,
You should
he
see him
got
throw
moves.
some shapes when we was at Atomic Kitten. He had all the moves, man. All the moves.
Oh, fuck's sake. Gigi said, Rage, I was just concerned for running like you. I've got a bum knee and not needing a replacement. Yeah, I mean, there are some events where you are going to be more active than others. But I wouldn't say, I mean, it's often likened that MilSim is obviously the opposite of Speedsoft. Speedsoft is literally running around, throwing plastic all over the place, CQB type games and bits and pieces like that, whereas MilSim is definitely the other end of that.
Snipers lay down a lot.
Yeah, snipers.
Yes, but most snipers are fucking lazy. That's why. Oh shit! Do I say that out
Right,
loud?
if you want to get in touch with us, just before,
Sorry,
feel free if you're a sniper and you want to send your hate to Lance to do something on his Instagram, Lance at _punish1.
Give it to me.
You can get in touch with us on our email at nofochat@hotmail.com. Instagram is at November_Foxtrot_NoFo, and our website is novemberfoxtrot.co.uk. The competition information will be up on the website and it'll be out on the socials this week, I promise.
Yes,
I will not be ill this week, so that will be a massive
You sound
advantage.
wonderful. You sound a lot better today than you did
You
yesterday.
sound low.
I was terrible over the weekend. It's not COVID, to be fair, but whatever it is, yeah. One fun story I will share with you two after the chat ends.
Oh no! We want to hear
Looking
it
forward
now.
to that.
All right.
Is it
I was
horrendous?
driving home.
Is this
It's
potentially
pretty bad.
as bad as Spotlights?
No, it's better than that. I was driving home and I had a little fold up of paper towel. And I just blew my nose. But when you sort of had the fold up, it kind of slightly open at the bottom when it's sort of against your face. Literally, I blew my nose and I don't know what happened, but my entire face fell out and it just went everywhere. I was wearing a black shirt today. Literally looked like a seagull had pooed on me. And this was on my way home. I got home to my wife. I was like, I had an accident.
Yeah, I met Lance.
I made a boo-boo. I'm sorry. Oh dear.
So-
I've done that before. I had my car valeted once. This is a completely different topic. And I had the windows up, air conditioning on, And you know when you get a bit of a, I've got to deal with this. I'm not going to do the noise because it makes Danny reach. But I did that,
Reg.
and I was driving down a country lane, and I thought I'd just spit it into the hedge. But I didn't open the window because I had the AC on, and I thought it was like a breeze. So I literally just went.
Spat out your window.
I spat. So it left my mouth, and it hit the window there, and it fucking exploded. And I was just like, oh, good God. I had to stop. I had to deal with this. I had to be dealt with because I just, terrible. What a horrible situation to get yourself into. So, yeah.
Well, when I was
moral
smoking,
of
I've done
is-
that with a fag. You flick
I
over cars like that.
Back in the day when you could smoke in the nightclub, I was in the Carsey having a piss and trying to be Mr. Cool. I thought I'd just like spit my fag end into the urinal I was weeing in, but I didn't. So what happened was I spat, but the filter had dried onto my top lip, and I went,
Yeah.
and it hooked out of my mouth, and the cherry went straight up my nose. Honestly, so I'm weeing, and I'm It literally, it's like a little pendulum. It went, and I was like, no. Yeah. So I've
Right,
cut the
cool.
incidents where I've tried to spit and be cool, and it's not worked. So I've given up spitting now because it's disgusting and dangerous. And there's my science for the night.
Nice one. Well, we're all a little bit closer now, so that's good.
So I love to share. It's a sharing
friends.
show. We all share. Yeah.
Just to check, will we do your booking with Kenny? Is that next week?
What?
Booking with Kenny, is Kenny from Empire? Is that next week?
I think Kenny from Empire is next week.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Cool.
no,
So
it's
next
not.
week we're joined. No.
No, it's the week after.
Oh no, it isn't. It's check up from the neck up next week, isn't it?
Ah, right. It's check up
Yeah,
from
it
the
is.
neck up next week. So we're going to be talking Face Pro and helmets and hats and all of those things. Neck up, hence check up from the neck up.
Yes. Lance has just admitted to it burning.
Right.
when he says-
Cool. We'll see you all next week.
No,
Say goodbye, guys.
yeah.
Goodbye, guys. Oh my god, that's
Keep
what
it
I can't miss.
NoFo.
Keep it NoFo.
Keep it NoFo.
Ciao.
Bye, gang.
Ciao.
Ciao.
NoFo, keep it NoFo.